Visualization, Bridey the Maiden, priestess of Brighde-Brigantia training. Make yourself comfortable. Find a nice place to sit down or lie down so that you can relax, and then close your eyes. Breathe in and out deeply 3 times. With the first breath, tense your body, and with the exhale, let all tension leave your body. With the second breath, focus on places in your body that still feel uneasy, and breathe that unease out. With the third breath, think that you are breathing in healing and peace, and breathe out with ease. Now your body has started to release its tension. Bring peace into your mind by imagining a light in the space that you are in. This could start with a candle where you're sitting, or a light, or even a half fire. And imagine that this light broadens out in all directions and becomes a column of light reaching from the heavens to the earth. And you choose to step into this light, this column of light. And when surrounded by it, you let the light fill you up, breathing it in your body and in your mind. The light brings safety and ease in the moment. Keep breathing in that light until you feel you are one with it, and that you are fully present, and that you are here in peace and in love. When you feel ready, at one point you start stepping out of the column of light. With your hands and your feet and your whole body, and as you do, you step into a beautiful place in nature, at the shores of a great lake. It is morning. And crisp and early in the year. A mist hangs low over the water. The trees are bare and on frozen droplets are hanging from the reeds, and they make the reeds heavy and bend over. You start walking on the shores of the lake and you feel the solid frozen earth under your feet with every step you take. There are slippery, icy patches, and when you see a white branch of a birch tree lying near the water, you pick it up to use as a staff. Walking on, you reach a little sandy beach. You walk towards the water, and with your staff you start stirring the water, making waves that spread over the water in circles. This might have disturbed the wildlife, as a gracious white mute swan starts swimming in your direction. She comes very close, so her body touches the sand. And she bends her neck and opens slowly her wings as to invite you to step on her back. And although part of you is puzzled how she could be able to hold you, you do accept her invitation, and carefully you step on the feathery back of the white swan. You are surprised how easily you fit on her back, and it reminds you of the way little cygnets right on their mother's back. The great swan starts swimming and you feel the strength of a movement through the water, which makes little rippling around you. She takes you deep into the mist, and the cold air descends on you, and you hide deeply in her soft, warm down feathers. After a little while, you see a shape forming in the distance, and having come close, you notice it's an island. The swan swims towards it, and with great determination, she stops just next to a big stone to let you get off. You step on the stone and thank the swan for the journey. It is just a little jump to the island itself, and having landed safely ashore, you look back over the lake, only to find that the swan has already disappeared in the mist. Before you, on the island, you see a path in the fresh green grass. You start walking this path, and looking ahead, it looks like little footsteps are appearing and disappearing, as if something very slight had just walked here. Looking further ahead, it looks as you see a little shape skipping ahead. And as you move along the path that now leads through a forest of young white birch trees, you speed up to see if you can catch up, but you never seem able to. You do catch more glimpses of this little girl. Yeah, she looks like a little girl, not much older than 6 years, with a bright white dress. You wonder what she's doing here, all on her own. And just that minute, when you think that, she's gone. And you find yourself in an open space in the forest, surrounded in a perfect circle by beautiful mature birches. The mist has cleared, and above you the sky is icy blue. Looking around you, you immediately see a lovely old well in the center of the grove, and its base is surrounded by small, seemingly frail white flowers, snowdrops. You walk towards the well, and whilst carefully not to tread on the snowdrops, you look over the rim into the water. It is filled up to about a meter from the top. With the blue sky above you, the water looks like a mirror, and you see yourself reflected in the well. But to your surprise, you don't see yourself, not like you are now. You see yourself like when you were a little girl, a little boy of 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. You look into your eyes, which you know so well, and realize that you just do not look that age, you feel that age. And as you remember, you start laughing, and your inner child, because that's who it is, laughs back at you. Then your inner child reaches out to you, and you lean over to take those little hands into yours a little further, just a little further, so you can touch it. And with a splash, you feel yourself falling into the well, into the water. Down and down you go. You feel frightened first, but as you notice you can breathe in the water, you surrender to the dark, warm space of the water. You can hear a heartbeat, slowly, like a drum beat. Boom, 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 boom. Suddenly the bottom of the well opens and you flow out with the water into a place similar like the birch grove, but with one side opening up to a beautiful meadow full of snowdrops. You are born again into the land of new beginnings. And you feel great, so light. It feels like the water has washed away all your troubles until this time. When you look around, you see the little girl who walked before you on the path, and you recognize her as Bridey the Maiden. Next to her stands a magnificent creature, which you recognize as a unicorn. She is radiant, bright and white, and in her light encompasses you as you stand before her. You bow to the unicorn, who recognizes your innocence and purity. And she bows to you, so you know that you can touch her horn. Touching it, you feel a deep sensation going through your body, your mind, your spirit, and you experience a feeling of great oneness within and without. You open your eyes and you look into the eyes of the unicorn, which reflect so much love and light. Without words, she starts transmitting to you. Listen to what you need to hear. Open yourself to the healing message. Receive her words in your heart. After a little while, you feel a faint tug on your clothes. It is hard to tear yourself from this beautiful, healing connection with Bridey's unicorn, but she nods. It's okay. What is need to be said is said. What needed to be heard has been heard. You look away and you see that it is Bridey calling you back to the here and now. She invites you to come and play with her in the meadow. Bridey winks and takes your hand. She laughs and starts skipping and running, and you follow. You play hide and seek between the birch trees and make crowns out of snowdrops. Then the unicorn invites you to ride on her back, and you both cling onto her manes and each other as she starts galloping through the fields. You go so fast it takes your breath away. You feel your wildness. You feel free and one with all of her nature. What a joy. What fun. You play with Bridey and her unicorn until the sun starts to set. You know it's time to return and you bow in gratitude one last time to the beautiful unicorn. Then, when Brighde takes your hand again, you walk with her back to the lake. As you follow the grassy path through the forest of birches, you notice that catkins are hanging from the branches, and a hint of light green is starting to shine through. Spring has arrived. At the shores of the lake, Brighde stops and puts her hand on your heart, and her healing blessings of new beginnings pour over into you. She embraces you and you feel her magnificent love as swan wings around you. And before you know what happens, you are back on the swan. And she takes off and flies you over the water into the column of light. The light is bright and warm and makes you remember sharply all that has happened. You remember the well of rebirth, the unicorn and her messages, and how you played with and were blessed by Brighde. When you feel charged up, back to your present self, you step out of the column of light, which retracts itself in itself. And you are back in this space, in the here and now. And slowly start to move your fingers, your toes, your arms, your legs, your shoulders. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes.